Welcome back to the Lucky Channel, and today's topic is going to be a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Your conformity explains nothing, is what he said. And essentially what he's meaning is this is like the key factor in being genuine. So we all want to be genuine, and we all want to be authentic and express ourselves in the best way that we can, but we fall into the trap of being genuine means I just need to be myself, which is easy because I know who I am, but 9 times out of 10 being yourself is just you stuck in fake patterns based on your past and your experiences that you let determine what being yourself means. Like, okay, here's what I mean by this. Society will teach you as you grow up as your child, you need to fit in, so you have to do certain things, you need to conform to fit in, you need to follow the rules. Again, I don't know why I said it like that, but you need to follow the rules, and there's conformity there. And then you also need to meet other people's expectations. So first, that's already going to skew our perspective on what being ourselves means. So then you spend years building this like perfect mask. You say what people want to hear, you pick the job that people want you to pick, and you act and start to think how people want you to think. This can be good if you're around really good people that want you to do well, want you to succeed, but if you're around people that don't care that much about what you're doing or not, it can really limit what being yourself means. Okay. Now I want you to picture in your mind someone who is super authentic to you, that you know. And the authentic people I know in my life aren't the ones who just do whatever they want. I feel like they're the ones that did the work to figure out who they actually are and not just what their learned behaviors were. You know what I mean? Because we all have different experiences throughout life that shape us into what we could claim as that's just me being myself. But is it really? Okay, so now we're going to do a visual for this. So imagine being yourself. When you grew up, you always had sunglasses on. Okay? And we know when we have sunglasses on, depending upon the film, you look tanner, the sun looks brighter, everything looks a little bit different. So imagine that's how you view being yourself with these sunglasses on. Then one day you're going through the work of what being yourself actually means and being genuine for you means, and you take off the sunglasses and you realize there's a whole different paradigm of the world out there. In the world, the sun appears different, your tan doesn't look as good, you know what I mean? And so that's essentially what happens when you start questioning your automatic responses. Like, why do I always act like that? Why do I always say no to that? Why do I always say yes to that? When you start questioning these automatic responses that are being yourself, then you figure out what being genuine would truly mean for you. Because you don't want to live your whole life being yourself, but it's just you're being yourself to live up to someone's expectation, because that's not going to be fulfilling. And so, to wrap this up, real authenticity and genuineness, yes, isn't about just always expressing how you feel and expressing every thought. It's about knowing who you truly are besides your past conditioning and your past learned behaviors from where you've come from and what you've experienced. It's essentially about being yourself, I think, is choosing your decisions regardless of the past experiences, regardless of those automatic responses you usually have. I mean, you'll hear people be like, I'm being myself, like I always say that, I always do this. Try to ask yourself why. Why do you always do that? So at the end of the day, I'll leave you with this. The question is, how much of what you call being yourself is just being who you think you're supposed to be? Which is good and bad, but it's truly up to you who you want to be, is what I'm trying to say. You're not defined by one narrow limit of what being yourself is. Being yourself is truly up to you when you ask those questions of why am I always a people pleaser, or why do I always say certain things, you know? So it's totally up to you at the end of the day, because as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, your conformity explains nothing. So just being like everyone else and doing everything everyone wants you to do doesn't mean you're being authentic. It just means you're following the learned patterns you've experienced over time. But you can always learn new things. So I hope this was helpful to someone, and I hope you have a great day.